Some of you may have noticed that I've been hinting at trying a product for a little bit, and I haven't been able to tell you what it is until today. I'm so excited. I don't even know where to begin. I can't wait to tell you what it is. And I'm not good at keeping secrets, so this has been a really hard year, over a year. Okay. I wanted to like make a big splashy reveal, but I don't even want to do that. I just want to, what do I do? Just throw it at the camera? All right, here it is. These are the prototypes of a product that I've designed in collaboration with Hello, and it's called the Hello Disc, and this is it. This is it. It is going to completely change the way people use reusable menstrual discs. The product has been in development since the summer of 2020 is when we started on this journey together, and I'd love to tell you some of the backstory of that because I love sharing stuff like that with you. And it has the first ever removal tab. It can be worn 4 different ways, and it can be removed in a million ways with one finger. So yeah, here it is. I literally cannot believe it's real. So I've had different prototypes for a couple of months now, and I've been able to use it for 2 periods. And I alluded to testing this product on one of my last videos, and it was the best period ever. And it's really hard to say that and know that I'm not exaggerating because it's something I helped design, but I don't know how else to say that because it really is the best menstrual disc or best menstrual product that I've ever used. And I think the reason is not that I want you to buy it, and so I say that, it's because I designed it, and that sounds pompous, but I made something that I wanted to make menstrual discs better. Obviously, Hello Cup brought that into the world like as a reality. It would not be here without their help. And it worked perfectly for me, and it should, because that's, when you design a product, you kind of design it for yourself. I designed it for everyone, but I mean, it's gonna work for me, and it did, and it was so good. Let's do like a very quick how it works, and then I'll talk about the journey, and hopefully when you're done watching this video, you'll feel so hyped up about it that you're gonna go and back the Kickstarter. If you need a product, there's also the option to just support it with like $5 if you don't need a product, but you love the idea. And the point is to help Hello Cup get it over the finish line. Here's how it works. So this has a curved tab, very important, and the tab is attached at the inner rim. It is not attached on the outside rim, it is attached on the inner rim. And it does curve with the disc, and it stays curved. If you want to insert it, you insert it with this tab last, which is very important. So you insert it just like you would any regular menstrual disc, tuck it up behind the pubic bone, and then this curves with the disc. It's great for a low cervix. If you have a high cervix, you would actually let it fall into the vaginal canal instead. So don't tuck it, make sure it stays down. That way you can easily reach one of these loops, probably the second loop. And here's my favorite way to wear it. I call it flipped. So you flip it through this little, I have fake nails on, so forgive me. I am literally useless, incompetent with fake nails on. You pop it through the hole, and then you have a little pop tab. And this is my favorite way to wear it. It just kind of, when it's in the vaginal canal, it really just sits right up against the wall. And so you'll come behind, pull it, and do this, and dump. Any way you use it, you're gonna be able to remove it with one finger, whether you pull from the front loop, whether you pull from the back loop on the first one, which actually this one is a really easy way to keep control. The loop closest to the disc, I would say, is where you want to aim if you want to make sure you have like a really less messy or even no mess removal, because you can guide it like this and it kind of protects your hand. If you do it from the second loop, it's a little more floppy. But again, like I said, the flipped way for me has been my favorite way, and it's a non-permanent change. And something that's really unique about this disc is that you can wear it on a low cervix day or a high cervix day without a permanent change. You can tuck it for low, do a flipped for average, or let it drop into the vaginal canal for a high cervix. And if you do happen to feel like it's more comfortable for you, we have a little notch in the disc on the tab, the double loop tab. And if you want, you can trim it to where it's just one loop. I would say don't do that until you're really sure none of the other 3 ways work for you, because you kind of get all the ways to wear it without trimming it. But some people might want to trim it, so we wanted to make sure there was a thing. And I guess technically you could trim it all the way off, but this disc is really designed to be removed with a loop. It's very round, it's very comfortable all the way around. So if you remove the loop, it's going to be a little bit harder, frankly, to remove. And there are other discs that might be easier for you to remove without the loop. So if you don't want loops, this probably isn't the disc for you. That's the great thing about options. And even though I'm now a designer somewhat of this product, I'm still here to help people find what works for them. That's why I never wanted to be a brand, because there are just too many great products out there that work for different people for different needs. Now, that said, I did design this with Hello Cup to make sure it met as many needs as possible. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all product, but this one works in so many different ways because you can wear it with a low cervix or a high cervix. It's very easy if you have certain disabilities or reach issues, that the loops make it so easy to remove, and there's no suction, so you don't have to worry about fiddling and breaking the suction. It's just like a one finger removal and dump. No other disc has ever achieved that. And it really just ticks every box. It doesn't have the highest capacity. It is a 50 milliliter, but we did that on purpose because when you wear it in the body, it doesn't hold as much as what you think under a faucet. So what is really nice about it when you wear it, and I've worn it now for 2 periods, is that it auto dumps really, really beautifully because it has a shallower dump and it sort of has this tilt to it, that it just dumps. Like it really dumps. I have had, I don't know, everyone loves this word dump. Really auto empties or self empties, and does it so great. This whole story, like I said, started in 2020, and I was, as an avid menstrual disc user, I was just frustrated by, this is like every inventor's story, right? I was frustrated by some of the menstrual discs that had attempted to solve the removal, like the Luma, and I love Luma, and that was one of my top discs, and has always worked really well for me, but I always trimmed the stem, so it lost the little ease of removal from the stem, and I was noodling on this over a year ago, thinking what would make it easier for more people to use menstrual discs. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, I don't want to be a brand. I don't want to start a brand. I don't want to manufacture a product. But I couldn't get over this idea that there was something that could improve the menstrual discs as they existed on the market at that time. It started very vague. It started just, okay, it's hard to reach and remove. You have to either pinch it or you have to hook it. Not everyone is comfortable digging up there, which they should be, but they aren't. So don't come at me. I'm not perpetuating period shame. I'm just trying to help people get through some things that they've been taught or that they've learned. And then the other issue is that they can be quite messy to remove. And there's also the issue of accessibility and how can you more easily remove something, because discs are easier, they're suction free, and that eliminates some of the strain of removing something like a menstrual cup. If you have grip issues or certain disabilities in your hands, or you have like reach issues, menstrual discs are actually easier. But could they be even better? It just started coming to me, and then I had a drink, I had a soda, and then the soda tab can sparked an idea of, oh, okay, what if we had some sort of removal tab? And then what if it was connected not at the edge of the disc, but at the inner recessed part behind the rim? And then one day I just started drawing it out, and I started the process of Period Nirvana and Period.shop. And at that same time, I aggressively put together what became the basis of the Hello disc, the double loops and the recess tab, and all those features came together very quickly in drawings. And then I taught myself how to 3D model, which is very hard for someone who's never 3D modeled anything before. So I used a free computer program called Blender. I downloaded it. I had to buy a mouse because I always use trackpads. And you really need a mouse to 3D model. I learned very quickly. And then I started really pulling it together. And I didn't even know at that point what I was going to do with that. I just knew I had a good idea. And that's when I filed a patent to protect it. And then at the end, I had a 3D model and I had to decide, okay, Kim, do you want to be a brand? The answer is no. Or do you want to bring this to a brand and have them make it with you? I had a top 2 list of brands in my mind. There was a number 1 choice and a number 2 choice. And the number 1 choice I was nervous of approaching because I didn't think they would take it on because they didn't make silicone products. And of course, we now know that number 1 choice is Hello Cup. We have a very similar vibe. We get along. We've met in person. Actually, somehow they live in New Zealand, and I've met Mary once, and I've met Robin twice in person. We've always had a really good working relationship through the years, and they're very inclusive as a brand. That's where I felt this product would work well, and it would add to their line. And now it's just now coming to Kickstarter. So you can see that it's been a really long road to get here because it's such a complicated product that as we started this journey together, I mean, I had an idea and I had actually 3D modeled it out, but that doesn't mean I know how to manufacture the product. I knew it was a good concept, but I don't know anything about manufacturing, and so they do. And when we got down to it, it's going to be really hard to manufacture because when you make something, and of course, this is all the things they taught me. I didn't know this ahead of time. When you make something with injection molding, the plates have to kind of go in and come out. And my original concept had to be slightly altered because of that. And so in September, I think 2020, the designer added a really slight scoop so that these could meet. So the first 6 months or so were just trying to figure out how to manufacture it. We thought of all these different ways to make the tab curve and make sure it was recessed, completely comfortable. Those were the big ones. And so we kept going back to what's the most important thing? Making sure that the tab is recessed and making sure it curves, and then of course making sure that the holes are finger sized. And then it became, okay, we've got this design, let's fine tune it, we can manufacture it. And then we made the first prototype, and the first prototype was like a 3D print. So I don't have that one because they have it in New Zealand. I think they made 2 of those.
Okay, this is it. Number 1 prototype of the Hello Disc. Are we ready? How close can you possibly be? It's really beautiful, babe. It's really hard because it's rubber, eh? I probably shouldn't squeeze it too hard.
And we measured out the capacity. It turned out it needed a little more, so they made it deeper, kind of adjusted it. And then the first usable prototype was made, which is this one. What do you think?
It looks nice.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I'm gonna try the Hello Disc for the first time. It's a dry run. It didn't make it in time for my period. We had many of these made for everyone to test. And then the next batch were the final firmness, which was very important.
What you got there, Kim?
New softer promo. Oh yeah, that's so much better. That's so much better. Look at that.
What do you think? Better?
Looks perfect. There have been a couple minor changes to this that will be in the final product, but that's it. Yeah, it's been a really long road, and I've been somewhat impatient because I knew this was coming, and I kept hearing from people who were having very specific issues with menstrual products that this product would address. I'm just like really, I'm really excited for people to get to try it, and I'm really excited that it exists because it now has another tool in my tool belt as an educator and an advocate and a retailer where I can point people to this product. And like I said, it works because I have a lot of experience with this, and I knew it was going to work. I knew it was going to be great, although I will say there was a really long period of time where I had what we call imposter syndrome, and I was completely in my head thinking it wasn't going to work. And you can mime removing something a million times. In fact, I'll show you. When I was doing this, when we were designing it, I made these like hot glue and fake silicone molds to model. Because I mean, you just like, listen, I've done all these fake removals with these little tabs to mime my concept. You would not believe how many times I've done that. There's a second loop and a first loop. So when I go into reach, I can grab this loop or I can grab this loop. And there's more leverage for this one in theory. And I don't want to break the invention. Oh, it's coming out really nice. Look at that. So cool. So here's where I say it's protecting you because you're underneath it and keeping it up. You're over a toilet and then you let it drop. So you have a lot of control with this point. This one is less control, but it's still secure so that you don't drop it. So this is where the leverage piece comes in. And then I would sit there and think, what if I'm totally backwards? And I'm not even like, I've done it a million times and I was still thinking I'm doing it wrong. And then I thought, oh my God, I took this brand on this really costly ride for something that's not going to work. And the first time, like I could cry thinking about it, it was so incredible. The first time I removed the Hello Disc full from my body, and I had it worn in the flipped position, which is my favorite. And I had done lots of dry runs as well because I wanted to mime every single different way and feel for comfort and all that. I needed way more time than just a period. I was wearing this disc for like a week off, you know, putting it in, taking it out, obviously. And the first time I really got to wear it on my period, and it was full, and I reached in and I removed it and I dumped it with one finger, which I knew was theoretically possible, but it worked. This is where if you don't want to see blood, you should fast forward. I'll put a little thing here. So this is what happened when I removed my disc. And I did not clean my finger. Oh my God, I can't believe I showed that. It's so clean. I've never removed a disc when it was that full with a clean hand. My finger was completely clean. And I just didn't know if that was going to be possible, even though I had hoped it would be. And I knew and I planned and I wanted. Holy shit, you're not wrong. And you didn't just bring this brand a lot. I could cry because it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure that someone trusted me so much that they put this amount of their time and their investment and their money. And I've been working, you know, this whole time behind the scenes on this project. We met like every week to go over every single little decision and design and change and modification. I mean, the details that Hello Cup put into the disc are not something you would notice, but every tiny little thing to finish out and to make this concept not only just like, oh, it has 2 loops. And I mean, it's just so perfect. And like the little raised lettering, not too raised, we discussed this because I've had issues with raised lettering, just enough, you know, it's there, it's shiny, the inside is shiny, so it's easy to clean. This whole thing is easy to clean, and it's just like sculpturally beautiful. And also the rounded rim really fits with their branding, which is important. When you're a brand, you want it to match your branding. Like my concept didn't match their branding because I wasn't their brand. And so we had to take my idea and mold it with their aesthetic. And I think in the end, we just had a stronger product. Obviously, there is going to now be a time in the future where I'm going to be recommending the Hello Disc. It will be incorporated into the quiz on Period Nirvana because it's a great result, because it fits a lot of people. And so there will be adjustments made in my quiz. There will be adjustments made in how I recommend products. But ultimately, when I talk to you and when I'm making this video, I'm making the video to announce it. I'm making the video to do a little bit of bragging because I'm really proud of what, you know, we've come up with together. It is a big deal to be like named on this product, and I wouldn't want it that way if it wasn't something like I really, really believed in. And it is somewhat of a conflict because I want to be an unbiased person. But like I said, this product needed to exist. It needed to be made. And there was nothing about this design once it was in my head that said, okay, you know what, it's not going to work. I just knew it was going to work. And then, of course, I didn't know it was going to work. But then I knew it was going to work again. And I just believed in it so much that I was going to make it happen no matter what. And like, I've had other ideas. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's other things that have crossed my mind. Like, oh, that's kind of cool. That might be neat. That might be fun. But the menstrual cup world has seen practically every innovation that can be seen. The menstrual disc world was really ripe for refinement and attention to the problems that were coming up. And so over the course of that timeline while we were making it, another brand came out with a disc, and I'm sure there will be many more discs that come out with different ways to approach it. But I do feel like we've really nailed something that's going to work for a lot of people. So I've talked for a really long time. I'm going to have to edit this down. I'll have a real full review of the product with footage from me trying it and my thoughts on it and everything when we get to the real retail launch, when Period.shop is able to sell it. And I don't want people to wait to buy it from Period.shop because I want to see this Kickstarter get funded. Making this product exist is more important than you directly supporting Period.shop in this case. Down the line, if you see this and the Kickstarter's done and you want to buy from Period.shop, of course, that's appreciated. We'll definitely be retailing it. But, you'll be supporting me and my efforts by buying the Hello Disc in any way. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments that I can answer. Head to the Kickstarter, make a pledge to back it so you'll be one of the first to receive it in the new year. And or if you just don't need a new product or can't use period products anymore. I know, shockingly, a lot of my supporters don't have periods anymore, and they just support my channel just because they are interested in it and they watch it. And so if you want to make a $5 pledge that helps bring the Kickstarter to life, that's appreciated too. I can't talk. So now I'll finally be able to talk about it. I will finally be able to say this is coming, and I cannot stand keeping secrets, so I can now say the Hello Disc is coming and I helped design it and it's out there and it's real. See you next video, and we'll have more content before the review, I'm sure, because that'll be a couple months, but keep your eyes peeled.